AUDUSD is reaching a major level now at 0.70. It's a round number, I love this. What's up guys, welcome back to Plaid with Carmen. Today I want to go through all the pairs once again as every Monday to make sure you're ready for the week. I'll show you basically one example of trade for the past week, and then we'll go through the chart and see if any zones the market moved and changed for the next week. And the rest should be all prepared, all taken care of. If not, you're doing something really wrong and we need to fix this right now. So let's go through the pairs. I'll start with the LDCAD. This is where we had a trade this past week. And you'll see on the chart that we had kind of two zones of support area we could expect. And the first one was at 0.94. The other one was at 0.92. Okay, they're pretty close, like 200 pips of difference, but it's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so basically price reversed here in the past and also reversed here. So we need to look at both zones in my opinion. Now with this, what you do is that you look at lower time frame. So I trade the 1 hour chart and the 4 hour chart. If you want to know once again exactly what I trade, link below on a video that's going to explain all of that. But in a snapshot, I look for break of the long band with engulfing candles as a reversal signal. So we had something here which was not valid because it did break outside on bull candlestick, and we had nothing else on this time frame, I believe. But if you look at the 1 hour chart, okay, this is where it gets really interesting. We have a pretty cool setup on right here. Okay, this is a really small setup, but because of the fact that it's small, it means we have a small stop loss and a take profit that's much more easily achievable, which is pretty cool. So the way you enter this, you enter above the high, so right over here, stop loss below the low, and you're at a risk of 3 to 1. Now we could calculate. I'll just put this thing on my chart. Okay, so 3 to 1 was here. Depending on where you enter, if you enter a little bit more above the high, you might not have reached your take profit yet, but it's going to be close. It's pretty close to it. Okay. Now I really like this setup because the stop loss are small. Of course, it's like easy to get reach in case price reverse, but it's a double thing, so there's good and bad to it. But in that case, it worked pretty well. Okay, so really good setup here. And of course, I will take partial profit at 1 to 1, so right over here approximately. Okay, and that just makes it better because you don't have to kind of wait for all your profit to be reached. It's just a better thing in my opinion. Okay, so that's the trade. And I don't think, like, I've explained so much this in detail in the past. You guys know I always trade the same thing. So if you have any question on this, go watch the video below. If it doesn't answer your question, comment below the video and I'll answer your question after that. Okay, but it should be pretty simple and it's always the same principle. So that's it for AUDCAD. And you'll see prices still at the support area, right? So we can wait here for our trades if we're not reached the take profit yet, because some people enter kind of beyond this, so beyond like just above the high. It could happen. Depending on what you do, the take profit could be triggered or not. If not, you just have to wait and stay in the trade, in my opinion. Okay. LDCAD, that's it. Still at the support area. Okay, so I had to start the air conditioning because I couldn't survive. It's like really hot over here. Now the next pair I'll be looking at is AUDJPY, and this is a pair that's kind of outside the zone now. That's why it's a flag on my watch list. But basically what happens, we're looking at the 82 zone right over here, and price kind of broke down. Okay, so we see this low over here. Price broke down the low right here, okay, close below the low. And this is where I said, well, we'll start looking in the zone because it's like too far. So I don't look at it anymore. It's kind of past now. I'll wait for the next zone, which is over here at 74.5, and that's going to be your next zone of interest. But for now, either you wait for price to kind of pull back to the zone, which it did before, and reverse, okay, and you will be looking for your trade setup right over here. Okay, or you just like wait for price to reach a lower level. Now it could reverse back over here and make another setup, but it's unlikely, I believe. So next thing to do is to wait for the next zone at 74.5. Okay, so just a quick update. AUDNZD is at a level now, but that's not quite clear. So what I was looking for are trades at the 1.086 zone, okay, 1.085 if you want, between two levels. This is an intermediate zone, kind of middle point between those numbers. Now what you see is that price went above over here, pulled back down to the zone. Okay, but here we were expecting a setup, but what happens is that price just kind of reversed a little bit and then fell back down and went below the low, okay, below this over here. So it's a sign that we kind of lose momentum on this zone and it's not as valid as we thought. So we'll just have to wait and see what price does on this pair, because it's kind of messy now a little bit. Okay, so just a waiting game for this. AUDUSD is reaching a major level now at 170. It's a round number, I love this. And this is where we can look for bullish setup on the pair. Now it's not quite there yet. I believe it's like still a small move to be made, but it's still close, so we can still look for setups. And I'll flag the pair, I'll look at this pair closely and look for setup. Okay, on the lower time frame. We have nothing so far, of course. Euro AUD is also reaching a support area, okay, which we talked about a few times. We went above over here, came back down to retest a support, which we had right over here before. Resistance turning into a support area. And I will see what price does, because it's kind of reaching back, but didn't do any setup yet on any time frame I look for. So no setup here, no setup there. But it's a pair we could look to trade. Except that once again, if price were to come back and break below the low, so close below this low over here, then it's a sign that the level is not going to hold. Then you want to stop trading this. Okay, but we still come in with like a curiosity mindset of like looking at what price does and what it's likely to do, and then we wait, and when it does something, then we act. And that's the mindset of trading here. So you cannot just take any trade here, you have to wait for it to show you the setup, and then you would take a decision, then you would act, because it's at a zone. Okay, but keep in mind, once again, if it breaks below this low, stop looking at the pair, just unflag it and wait for your next zone. Alright? Clear. EURUSD is, that's a support area. Okay, so it looks like we had this low, we didn't break below the low, so still valid as a support area. You know, look for bullish up there, of course. On the lower time frame, we had no trades. This could be a setup, but it's not nothing at all, so no setup there. So it's just a winning game on this pair once again. Okay, and looks like the other setup we had might be here, which I might have taken in the past. I think I shared about this earlier. That's about it for the pair. Now, so now you have to wait for other trades. At the 1.50, it's a round number, so pretty cool. EURUSD is apparently leaving a support area. Okay, so we had this support here at 0.87. Good zone to look for bullish trades. Now price kind of shoot up in the past week, and we had no trade set up here. So I wouldn't flag this, because it's unlikely we'll have a setup now, because of the fact that we're kind of above the level. It's not there anymore. And I'll wait for the next zone. Next zone I'll look at is between this and this. Okay, so between like 0.90 and 0.91. Good zone to look for bearish setup like we had over here before. And that's going to be it for this pair. EURUSD is again still at the 1.14 area, okay, 1.14 to 1.17. It's kind of messy a little bit, but if you see a bullish setup, I will still take it, because the fact that we are at the support area, like we've been back and forth a little bit, but on a weekly chart that doesn't seem too bad. Okay, that seems pretty reasonable. So wait for yourself on the 1 hour chart or 4 hour chart, and I would look for a reversal trade on this for sure. Okay, a bullish setup. So we'll give this one flag for the next week. GBPCHF is an example of pair not to trade between two levels, so forget that part. GBPCHF is at a resistance area, 1.30, a round number, but it's kind of going down now, so we haven't set up yet. Kind of not the best, but we can wait for a setup, of course, on this pair. And I would wait for a setup at the upper band of the Montreal band, a reversal setup, of course. But it's going to be a waiting game on this pair. We got nothing so far, so just this move over here. This is kind of a reversed hammer. You could trade that, you cannot trade that, but I would not trade that because I don't have the result on this specific pattern. But if you want to trade this, then do your research, and that could be a very good opportunity to trade reversal setup on this pair. Okay, especially because we had a few hammers like this in the past. So I'll keep it flagged just to wait and see what happens, but not really interesting to trade for now. GBPCHF, we just closed a trade here recently. Okay, a trade that lasted a very, very long time. This dates back to September 20th, 22nd, so almost like a month. But this was a trade on the forward chart. Took some time because we went back and forth. But the trade's been closed last week, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's a simple example. Now, price kind of between two zones for here, so we just shoot down the past week. I will unflag the pair. Not really interesting to trade for now, but I'll wait for more setup on this. Okay, maybe at the next zone, maybe it's going to be 136, I believe. That could be your next zone to look for. just drag this thing, and we can look for more setup at this zone. GBPNZD is back at its support area. Okay, this was a resistance, now turning into a support over here. And I'm kind of curious to see what price will do with this, because we've been really not doing much over here in the past couple of months. Okay, so just back and forth between the 1.88 and 1.96 level. Now we're back above, coming back to the support, which is pretty cool. And you can look for bullish trades on this. We had nothing so far, just a small move over here, and then it fell pretty fast. But we'll wait for bullish setup on this pair, I believe. GBPUSD has been broken down of this support area here, 1.31, a couple of weeks ago. And now it's kind of doing a very traditional and simple retest to the level. Okay, so kind of a retracement back to the zone. And this is where you look for bearish setup, in my opinion. We had nothing so far on this pair, but you could look for bearish setup still, I think, at this level. Okay, off the 1.31 area. That's been quite strong in the past. Okay, so over here, back here, and breaking above, coming back to retest. Breaking above, coming back to retest again. So cool zone to look for trades, in my opinion. NZDCAD is between two zones. Basically, what you would do is you wait for bearish setup at 0.87, a resistance area. So we touched the zone over here, coming back there and here. And that's a good place to look for bearish setup, of course. So, and then if it were to go back to this zone over here, so what, 84, you could look for bullish setup. So quite a tough pair to trade. It's like really tight, so it's only 300 pip of difference. But you make the decision if you trade or not. I will trade, but it's up to you if you trade this pair or not with those circumstances, okay? Just be careful. S&P got a drop, but I don't really trade that. Just a quick memo, but yeah, that's about it. USDCAD is doing not much at a support area, so we thought the zone at 1.29 could be a good support area. Now it's been off that zone for a few weeks, and we had no trade set up on this, so I'll wait for the next zone, which would be around 1.35. So keep the pair unflagged and wait for the next zone. USDJPY is really consolidating tightly, and we will wait for price to hit this level over here at 111. It's not there yet, but when it gets there, we could look for bullish setup, which is going to be really tight once again, because the other zone is at 114, just a little bit above, and that's going to be a tight pair to trade, but I'll keep it unflagged for now. USDSJD is reaching a resistance area. It's been there for the past couple of weeks at 1.39. You look for bearish setup there. We had one right over here, which is a lower probability one, because, well, first of all, it didn't close below. But the other factor to think about is that it broke below the middle band. So sign that you have like less room for profit. So I usually don't take those trades. You could take them if you want, but I would skip this pair and this trade for now. Okay, this is just it's a pretty good setup, pretty strong, but kind of too big in my opinion based on the volatility and the movement on this pair for now. So that's about it, guys. Any question you have, you comment below. Go watch a video that I did on how to trade with those Bollinger Band setup. I explained like everything, the whole process, the zone, the stuff, the profit, the stop loss, everything that's in between. And I want to remind you that over the past few weeks, I've made that process so much simple by having these alerts I receive for my trade setup. And this is basically something I coded with my team, where they decided to make it available for you as well. So if you want to hear about this, I'll put a link below for that as well. It's called the Trading Assistant. And you can see everything it does. Pretty much we can configure it for you if you want, or you can use my alerts, which I get. They're the same. So far the feedback has been really awesome. And I'll probably do a video soon about the question I get about the Trading Assistant. I get a lot of questions, and I want to answer them to make sure you guys understand what it's about. So comment below if you have any question about this. I'll make another video soon, and I'll catch you back here tomorrow. Ciao.